This meeting is called pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Law. This meeting of July 13, 2021, with instructions for internet access, was included in a meeting notice sent to the Burlington County Times and the Courier Post on January 6, 2021, and advertised in said newspapers on January 8, 2021, and January 9, 2021, respectively. Posted on the website and the bulletin board in the municipal building on January 9, 2021, and has remained continuously posted as required under statute. In addition, a copy of this notice is and has been available to the public. It is posted on the main doors the Friday before the meeting and is on file in the office of the municipal clerk. Would you all please rise for the flags? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Jen, roll call.
Mr. Levinson, Mr. McLaughlin, Mr. Klaus. Here. Mr. Montgomery.
Present.
Mayor Gilmore.
Here. We have the minutes. I need approval of the regular committee minutes of June 15th and approval of the executive session minutes of June 15th. I need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second. I'm going to turn it back on. Mayor Gilmore. Oh, sorry. Mr. Montgomery.
Yes.
Mr. Klaus.
Yes.
Mayor Gilmore.
Yes. Reports. I have the tax collector's report, code enforcement, fire official, construction, and emergency services reports for June of 2021. I need a motion and a second.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Klaus.
There may be a delay.
Mr. Klaus.
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery.
Yes.
Mayor Gilmore.
Yes. Tonight we have a discussion presentation. Mr. Taylor? We're up to you.
Which one?
Which one? You tell me.
Is this the ordinance?
Yes, Ordinance 2021-6, adopting redevelopment plan for certain property known as Block 103.01, Lots 1 and 8, and Block 113, Lot 4.05.
So are we moving right through ordinances now?
Oh, comments from the public first.
Yeah.
I didn't go to ordinances yet.
No,
This
but
was
if we're going to have...
discussion.
Yeah, so the discussion, the presentation is part of that ordinance public hearing. So
Okay.
because it's a legislative record, we're going to have it all under the same topic. So sorry about that.
Okay. So before we do that, then perhaps we should hear from Officer Antonucci?
Or unless you want to have your comments from the public first, and then he can do his report during that time.
Okay, do it after the second? Okay. Okay, so we're going to do comments from the public on agenda items only. Do we have any comments from the public? Is there anyone online?
We do have 2 residents online. I have Janice Ludden and then an anonymous.
Okay. No comments? Okay, then we'll go on to ordinances. So, ordinance 2021-6, adopting the redevelopment plan for certain property known as Block 103.01, Lots 1 and 8, and Block 113, Lot 4.05. This is the public hearing and final adoption. We're open for public hearing on this ordinance. Anyone in the room?
Do you want to allow?
Anyone online? And let Mr. Taylor talk.
Now you're ready for me?
Now we're ready for you. Are you ready for us?
Are you ready for us? Are you ready for us?
Ready for us.
That is always the question.
Perhaps not.
Okay.
So we are here for a second reading and adoption of an ordinance adopting a redevelopment plan. We have issued a copy of that report dated June 14, 2021, known as the Long Bridge Redevelopment Plan. By way of background, in November of 2019, Township Committee adopted a resolution asking the Joint Land Use Board to undertake an investigation to determine whether numerous parcels located along Route 38 at Mount Laurel and also Fostertown Roads met the statutory criteria to be considered either an area in need of rehabilitation or a non-condemnation area in need of redevelopment in accordance with the New Jersey Local Redevelopment and Housing Law. A report was prepared. The Planning Board conducted hearings in July and August of 2020 and determined that statutory criteria were met for a number of those parcels. That was known as the Route 38 Southwest Redevelopment and Rehabilitation areas. On October 13th of 2020, the parcels that are the subject of this redevelopment plan this evening were determined to be an area in need of redevelopment without condemnation. And for the public and everyone else's benefit, that does not allow the municipality its power of eminent domain. So any development or redevelopment within this area would be purely voluntary on the part of the landowner or an applicant. So the redevelopment plan that you have before you this evening really addresses three of those parcels, parcels A, D, and Q, predominantly known as the Long Bridge Farms property. The redevelopment plan has been prepared in accordance with the statutory requirements of the local redevelopment and housing law. It sets forth the basis for the goals and objectives of the redevelopment plan, its consistency with the master plan, and it also establishes modified zoning for those three properties. We go through and identify that, as you may recall during some of the earlier presentations, the plan was for there to be 3 additional single-family homes along Mount Laurel Road. A majority of the highway commercial district would remain intact, but behind the single families and between the two, with access only onto Haynesburg Mount Laurel Road, would be a townhouse zoning district that would allow for up to 45 townhouses. We've set forth a new zone that is identified as the Long Bridge Redevelopment Area Townhouse, or LRAT zoning district. And we've also set up standards for the Long Bridge Redevelopment Area Highway Commercial zoning district. We've set forth the permitted uses within that. That has been expanded from the standard highway commercial zoning district to, allow for microbreweries as well as a permitted use, as when the HC was developed, that was really not contemplated or really a thing in New Jersey yet. We also allowed for conditionally permitted uses to include both fast food and fuel service with convenience, with significant buffer and design and planting requirements associated with those. There is a requirement that there will be a 15% affordable set aside in conjunction with the townhouse development. And then we've also put in enhanced landscape and buffer standards for both the townhouse and highway commercial districts, as well as lighting standards, maintenance requirements, and the like. We also did allow, under the highway commercial zoning district, indoor recreation facilities that are under 10,000 square feet in area. There had been some concerns raised that we didn't want a very large sort of funplex or splash zone or some other large draw in that area, because we do have some residents nearby. And we also permitted health and fitness facilities such as gyms, yoga studios, dance studios, and the like, because our current ordinance is silent with respect to those ordinances. So to try to clean up some of those issues when tenants come in, we thought would stimulate some potential growth in that area, which is one of the goals, not only of this redevelopment plan, but also of all of your master plans and reexamination reports to capitalize on the presence of the Route 38 corridor to stimulate commercial rateable growth in the township. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
I mean, we're pretty far along here, but refresh my memory, though. We talked about the microbrewery and that type of thing and fast food. Did we talk about the next level up above fast food for restaurants and those types of things? Is that like part of that for the microbrewery? Because you would think they would go together, but.
So our ordinance already allows for restaurants.
Right. So it was just an additional to add the fast food. That's what I
Yes.
thought. Okay, very good. Thank you.
We did also allow for congregate care facilities such as a convalescent center or senior living facility in that area as well.
Any other questions? Mr. Klaus?
Committeeman Klaus, did you have any questions or?
No, no questions.
Okay, so I'll open it for public comment. Anyone in the room? Online? Seeing no public comment, I'll ask for a motion
So moved?
in a second.
Committeeman Klaus, can you hear us?
Only you.
I need a second to the motion
Quiet.
for final adoption on the ordinance.
Committeeman Klaus, Mayor Gilmore is asking for a second on the motion for,
Yes, I'll second that.
okay.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mayor Gilmore?
Yes. Okay, ordinance 2021-7, amending Chapter 44 of the Code entitled Affordable Housing. This is the first reading and introduction. Public hearing and final adoption is August the 10th. I need a motion and a second.
Motion.
I will second.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mayor Gilmore?
Yes. Ordinance 2021-8, prohibiting the operation of any class of cannabis businesses within the geographic boundaries and amending Chapter 77 and 104 of the Code Enforcement of Haynesburg Township. This is the first reading and introduction. The public hearing and final adoption will be August the 10th. So even though we are prohibiting it at this present time, we have formed our advisory committee, and they are preparing for their first meeting as we speak. So I need a motion and a second.
Motion.
Second?
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mayor Gilmore?
Yes. Ordinance 2021-9, authorizing a long-term pilot agreement for Davenport Village. This is the first reading and introduction. The public hearing and final adoption is August the 10th, 2021. I need a motion and a second.
So moved?
Second.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mayor Gilmore?
Yes. Ordinance 2021-10, adopting a redevelopment plan for certain property. This is the reading and introduction. Public hearing and final adoption will be August the 10th, 2021. Mr. Scott Taylor is in the room. Would you like to say a little bit something about this ordinance before we?
I can. This is sort of the next step. As you know, in November of 2020, committee asked the Joint Land Use Board to undertake an investigation to determine whether several parcels at the intersection of Martin Highway and the Mount Holly Bypass met the statutory criteria to be determined an area in need of rehabilitation. That report was prepared. Joint Land Use Board conducted a hearing on March 3, 2021, and on March 16th, the Township Committee designated those areas as an area in need of rehabilitation. This is a redevelopment plan. It sets forth modified zoning to permit a warehouse distribution with enhanced buffers and architecture, reduced glare lighting at the intersection of Marne and Mount Holly bypass. And I can answer any questions or give a more detailed presentation at the public hearing.
Does anybody have any questions? Mr. Montgomery?
I'm good now, thank you.
Mr. Klaus?
Mr. Klaus, do you have any questions on 2021-10?
None.
Anyone in the room? Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second,
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery?
yes.
Mayor Gilmore?
Yes. So we have 4 consent resolutions tonight, one of which is appointing a new member to the Environmental Commission, Janice Ludden. So I need a motion and a second for those 4 resolutions, 2021-96-7 through 2021-99-7.
Are we doing 96-7 about the Applewood Court?
Yes, all 4 of those.
Oh, all 4 of those, okay. Yeah, I'd just like to make a comment, just that it's just a shame that I'm sure there may be some extenuating circumstances, and if there are some extenuating circumstances, and this is a property that's just not taking care of the property, if there are some extenuating circumstances, certainly we'd want to hear about it, but the fact that it's just not being taken care of, it's not fair to the neighbors, it's not fair to the community, and it's a shame we have to do this, but we do what we have to do. So.
Did you want me to
Yeah, you
explain
want to explain
procedurally
it
what
further?
happens? Okay.
I know.
So oftentimes, these properties are in the middle of foreclosure or bankruptcy,
Right.
and our code enforcement officer does a phenomenal job in tracking down the property management companies that are hired by the banks. Oftentimes, those change hands quite frequently, as well as bank servicing companies, as well as ownership. So a lot of times, we're trying to track these individuals down. This has been an ongoing concern, an ongoing vacant property. It's been, I believe, at least 3 years now. This is our 3rd time, I believe, that we've gone out and maintained the property, and it's just simply because the contracted maintenance company has not come out, or they're in transition, or our code enforcement officer just can't get through to them. So our Public Works Department does go out and cut it, and we do lien the property $300, but we do have to do our due diligence in terms of proper notification, certified mailings, and things like that. So this has already been done, so it's just authorization to
Right.
put the lien on the property.
Right.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, no, I'm good. I just wanted to comment on it because it's a shame that this stuff happens.
And we do
Thank you
think-
for, of
Sure.
course, I knew we did all this stuff up. So
Right.
maybe it's good that we did
right.
bring
So
that to the attention of everybody then, so, yeah.
The motion and the second.
I'll motion. God bless you.
Bless you.
Bless you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mayor Gilmore?
Yes. So now we have Resolution 2021-100-7, authorizing the execution of the event agreement with Exclusive LLC.
Exclusive?
Exclusive?
Okay.
There you go. Exclusive.
Learn something new every day. For evening tennis event on August the 14th at the Municipal Park. Did you want to expand on that at all?
Sure. So this is through the ARCASA, which is the Rancocas Communities Aligned for Substance Awareness. Every year, I do request of the governing body to authorize our participation. It's the 5 sending towns collaborating to receive state funding for drug and alcohol awareness programs. Much of the money goes towards Rancocas Valley High School events, some very popular ones, actually. But this particular program was done, I believe, last year in Cinnaminson through Prevention Plus, and it was very successful. We're one of 4 towns that have been asked to host. I believe Evesham is hosting, Marlton, and one other municipality. There's 4 total over a course of that long weekend. And it's for kids and their adults to come out. It's 2 one-hour sessions, 8:30 to 9:30 and then 9:30 to 10:30, ages 12 plus, 40 people per session. But what they do is they set up the tennis area, they completely enclose it, they have neon lights, they have a DJ. It's supposed to be a really, really fun, free event with a lot of drug awareness and prevention theme to it. I'm probably going to come out and see it. And our Ike Johnson, who's our tennis instructor, a big part of the Burlington County tennis program, he's coming out and supplying a lot of volunteers as well as volunteers through the ARCASA program. So we expect it to be a pretty nice event. There's not a financial contribution to this. It's just simply authorizing that we host the program here at our site.
And do you have to know how to play tennis to
No.
participate?
No?
Okay. There you go. See, Leila, you can go.
I know how to play tennis, though.
I was just,
Pickleball, they got me into pickleball.
oh, pickleball, there you go. Well, maybe that's another option then, yeah.
All right, so I need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mayor Gilmore?
Yes. Resolution 2021-101-7, authorizing the execution of an agreement with Civic Plus and payment for the website redesign. This is the company that we're currently with, and we're going to update our website, I hope.
Yes,
We're going to make it
better.
user-friendly.
More user-friendly.
Oh, it's not user-friendly. So I need a motion and a second.
I motion for that, there you go. I'll second it, he may beat me.
Mr. Klaus?
So,
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery?
yes, indeed.
Mayor Gilmore?
Yes. Resolution 2021-102-7, authorizing the purchase of the International 7400, oh God, with the chassis and a brush hog and the grapple loader and all those good things. So I need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mayor Gilmore?
Yes, and I understand we desperately need it, and we're going to get it tomorrow.
Pretty much, it's on the lot.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Bruce Levinson and I talked about this when we were looking to run, so we're really happy that this came through, and not a day, well, I guess it could have been a day sooner, right? Apparently so it was very good timing.
Resolution 2021-103-7, changing the employment status of a full-time finance clerk to the part-time. I need a motion and a second.
So moved?
Second.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mayor Gilmore?
Yes. Resolution 2021-104-7, authorizing the purchase of 2 hook roll-off containers for the hook truck. I need a motion and a second.
So moved?
Okay. It was a tie.
Second.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mayor Gilmore?
Yes. Resolution 2021-105-7, authorizing the execution of an escrow agreement with Core One Industrial. I need a motion and a second.
So moved?
Second.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Don't have that.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
One no.
Mayor Gilmore?
Yes. Now we have 1 business license to approve. I need a motion and a second.
I make a motion that we approve the business license.
I second that.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mayor Gilmore?
Yes. We're now open for comments from the public with regards to anything. Do I see anybody in the, wait, way in the
In the
back?
sea,
Way
in the
back.
sea of
I
residents.
see a hand. No, I meant the other one.
Hello, everyone. Anna Evans, 63 Pirate Drive.
Good evening.
Just wanted to say a couple of things. First of all, you guys worked really hard tonight with that motioning and seconding thing. I mean, that was
I
fun.
need a break.
I'm very pleased to see that there is 15% allowance for affordable housing in this plan, because I think this is what affordable housing should be, as in it should be right there with the other housing, rather than like off in its own little, you know, I'm not going to use the word ghetto, but you know what I mean. Like,
Yes.
So this is a step in the right direction, and I applaud you guys for doing that.
You're welcome.
The cannabis,
Yes.
a meeting advisory committee, whatever, will they be reporting back to us or to
Well, they'll be
you?
reporting to us.
But will you be reporting to
And then we'll let you- yeah, of
us,
course, we
right?
will definitely
When
keep
is
you
the
in the
next
loop.
opportunity to opt back in? I realize we're not like opting out for good, we're just taking our time to wait until the guidelines come out. So when is the
Correct.
next opportunity to?
Well, we
make-
haven't even finalized, we haven't even adopted it yet, so.
No, but
Mr.
it's kind of a.
Yeah, that'll be next,
Gillespie,
yeah.
is there a,
So, yeah, you can opt in anytime. I think, and there was some effort at the legislature to extend the August date a couple more months to give
Right.
it more time. That didn't go anywhere, and so municipalities are still faced with this August deadline. You kind of have to hope that the regs are promulgated sometime by the end of the summer, and I mean mid-September, or September. Because remember, they don't just get adopted, right? They get published in the New Jersey Register. There's a public comment period. So even if they're published, just pick a date, September 15th, they're not adopted until December, right? And you don't know how those draft regs might be modified before final adoption. I think they provide a pretty good pathway. I think they probably tell you this is where we're going. But if there's anything critical in there that a municipality is particularly focused on and says, until I know that answer, I'm not doing anything, then you have to wait.
Right.
But a town can go back in anytime it wants to.
Right.
Or feels that there's a comfort level that it knows what it's bargaining for by doing it.
Right, yeah, I get it. Okay, two more things. I would like to commend my opponent, Jerry Klaus, for calling into the meeting from his vacation. And I'd like to wish the mayor a happy birthday.
thank you. But just so you know, Anna, Mr. Taylor is part of the committee.
Right.
And so is Kathy Newcomb, who's part of the zoning, so they're going to talk about a lot of things.
Right.
Your
Let's
birthday
try to
committee
cover
or the
as much
cannabis
as-
committee?
The cannabis group.
Oh, right, right.
I assume.
We have.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I think that was nice of you to say that, and I think it kind of got rushed over, that it's the mayor's birthday. So I just might want to say, maybe can we sing a happy birthday song?
There's not
I will-
people here to hide my voice.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mayor Gilmore. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Montgomery.
My birthday's well past, so you can't get me.
No, don't worry, I have a long memory. Do we have any other comments?
There are two people online. I don't know if they have comments.
Would anyone like to make a motion that
No.
Mayor Gilmore has a happy birthday? Can we have a second on that? There you go, there you go.
Sergeant Antonucci, would you like to have something to say? We need control. Yeah. We'll all go out to celebrate after the meeting.
Good evening, everybody. I just have a few things. There's nothing major to report in town in regards to crime or criminal activity. No issues at the tavern and table. Troopers are still conducting extra patrols of the area and assisting the staff with dispersing crowds at closing time. The staff of the bar have been supportive and thanked our troopers for the extra patrols. In June, we had reports of a suspicious male traveling around within residential areas. There was no crime committed. He was traveling in a beige Nissan Altima. He was described as a white male, wearing dark shaggy clothing with his hoodie covering his face. He approached a juvenile and adult females, inquiring if he could use their phone. When speaking to a juvenile female in front of her house, he asked if he could use the bathroom. Detectives and troopers at our station and local area police departments are aware of this individual, and there have been no further developments or reports of him since then. So, but just a reminder to the residents for parents to be mindful of their children, who they're talking to and whatnot. And then our detectives wanted me to remind the residents about the statewide trend with the catalytic converters being stolen. Just be mindful of cars that have been parked for, like if somebody has an older car and it really doesn't move or anything like that, they might, try to take catalytic converter and then they go pawn it off and then they buy drugs or whatever they do. I know it happened earlier in the year in industrial area of Haynesburg. I forget which place, a bunch of trucks. They took a bunch of trucks. And this is a thing that's been going on all throughout the state. Also, another thing, our troopers and detectives continue to make arrests and close out vehicle burglaries attributed to an interstate theft ring called the Felony Lane Gang, or they're a transient group that travels throughout the United States and commits crimes such as theft, things of that nature. So we're able to close out some more and lock up more individuals that were involved.
Good job. Thank you.
And that's basically, and then we've attended several events in Community Day, and we were just at the
There were
here
concerts in
on
the
Sun-
park the other
concert at
night.
the park on Sunday.
Yes.
So, and I know you mentioned something about the tennis event. Well, I'll advise our troopers that, make a presence here.
Thank you,
at
that's
two.
wonderful.
And that's all.
August
I'll follow up
14th.
with you on that.
Bring a racket.
I'll be
I'll send you some more information on that.
speeding.
No, on the tennis event.
Oh, tennis,
Yeah.
okay. All right, great, thank you.
Meeting, we have it.
Thank you, Troop.
One.
You gotta wear your white shorts.
And a gun.
You can have your sergeant stripes, you can.
Hey, what was that show? Reno?
Oh, yeah.
Haynesburg 911?
Yeah, Haynesburg 911.
Okay, it's time for comments from the
All
administrator.
right. The fiscal year 2022 DOT Municipal Aid Grant was submitted on June 28th for Pulaski Avenue, Laurel Ridge, and Fenimore Road improvements. Our grant request is $498,000. The Green Acres grant application will be submitted tomorrow or Thursday. Again, that was for various municipal park improvements, including trail flooding mitigation, concession stand restroom upgrades, and installation of an internal walking trail loop so trail users can avoid entering school property during school hours. CGP&H has been helping with that grant, but I have to commend Taylor Design Group, Scott, and Steve for stepping up kind of at the 13th hour and helping me with gathering information and writing environmental assessments and helping with the summary. And yeah, thank you, Scott. You're amazing. Steve's amazing. Coming out and doing a site visit, taking pictures, a lot more work than I anticipated. And again, with it being such a short grant period, I want to thank you for helping.
You're welcome.
Okay,
Thank you.
I know.
I'm only as good as my clients.
This is because we have another request.
They're never going to stop. I feel like it's just never going to stop.
But now that he's smiling and nodding his head,
Our Public Works employee, Jeff Crane, completed and submitted to me today an extensive, thorough, and impressively compiled sidewalk assessment of all residential sidewalks in Haynesburg Township. I will be able to present the information to you at the August meeting. I'm still going through this binder and all of the jump drives of pictures of every community, residential community and sidewalk. I can't commend him enough on such a wonderful job that he has done with this project.
Great.
So hopefully we'll be able to get that to you and maybe do a little presentation at the next meeting.
stepping up very nicely in his new role, so kudos. Very good work.
He's done a great
I
job.
look forward
Maybe
to,
we should have him come in and do the presentation.
I don't know that that'll happen, but I could ask.
well,
It
for
was,
questions, maybe for questions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Um,
And
then-
that's a big project.
It was a
You know,
very big
We've
project.
talked about this for a while, so, yeah, thank you.
Well, you know, I tasked that to him about 9 months ago, and, you know, we have had a lot of challenges in the Public Works Department, as everybody knows, so he really stepped it up in the last 3 weeks and got it done for us, so. And,
great.
yes, and Deputy Mayor McLaughlin really was pushing for that, and that was, you know, definitely something that we wanted to work on. And finally, the My Downtown app, we have another meeting with another app software company for a mobile app for that project that we want to implement for the residents to be better connected to the township in another way other than the website. So we have a meeting next week. This will be our second mobile app company, and hopefully we can present something next month for your consideration. And maybe we can use ARP funding for that as well. That would be nice. And then finally, most importantly, happiest of birthdays to Mayor Gilmore.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Gillespie.
So I was at the Burlington County Bar Association picnic a couple Fridays ago, and
The bar, you were at the
a
bar?
couple of Burlington County Bar Association picnic,
You got to move closer.
and a couple of attorneys and a couple of judges were talking about their pickleball experiences,
Ah.
and were unanimous in touting the superiority of Hanesport's pickleball courts,
Really?
which allowed me to say, well, I'm the township attorney, and I had nothing to do with it. It must have been all Mr. Taylor, because he's amazing. But you should know that people really were talking about your pickleball court. Just saying it's
You know, it's kind of interesting. I know a little bit about it, I wish I can remember his first name, but he's a physical fitness teacher at Hainesport School, Mike
Mike.
Galinda. Yes, Mike Galinda. And he started this, I'll call it a craze, I guess, a number of years ago.
Right.
If I said 10, I mean, it could be, I don't know, it might be probably something about that. And has worked with the kids and done a lot of things, and we talked about trying to get something here. So he was a
And he came before the committee
Mhm.
before I was on it.
Before me too, yeah, so,
And
right,
brought it to their
yeah,
attention.
so Mike Galinda, you know, here's to you, and I'm sure, have no doubt, there are many other people that are involved in this. I just know that he was very active
Yeah.
in it, so,
Pretty nice to hear that good stuff.
yeah, that was nice.
Yeah.
And I join everyone else in saying, happy birthday, Mayor. July birthday is pretty cool. Well done.
Yes.
Well done.
Yes. Okay, so then we have comments from the committee. Does Mr. Taylor wants to make a comment? No, he's not talking anymore.
Just happy birthday as well.
So, I mean, other than happy birthday to Mayor Gilmore, I'm good. I want to wish a happy birthday to my youngest daughter, McKelsey, who's also,
Yeah.
birthday is today,
You
so
share a
since that's the
birthday.
case, yeah, she share a birthday. And she is 18 years old today.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how that's possible, but it is. I mean, I have all these kids, I'm 39, I just don't understand how this keeps happening.
Well, if you think that's going to make me tell you how old I am.
I, absolutely, positively not. I thought you were, I thought you were 38. I didn't think you were quite 39 yet.
Plus,
but-
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Plus a few.
Very good.
Mr. Klaus, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, I'm getting a little anxious, so I'll be quick.
Okay,
Happy birthday, Mayor.
thank you.
very happy with the Public Works Department. They're doing a great job. And I hope everybody continues to pick our fire department and our emergency services in Haynesburg. Other than that, everybody have a good night.
Thank you.
Miss seeing your face here, Jerry. Thanks for calling in.
Well, I'll be there next month.
Very good. We get it.
Good. I'd like to thank Jennifer for filling in tonight for Tara, who couldn't be here, and welcome her. She's our newest permanent employee. So anyone who hasn't met Jen, please. She's stepped up to the plate and is handling the app to come, among other things, pushing. So thank you again.
Thank you.
I wanted to mention that we did have our first concert in the park just this Sunday night, and it was sponsored by Taylor Design Group. There was a huge amount of people there. There had to be about 300 people that attended.
Wow.
And everybody had it, the weather was great, and everybody had a very good time. The next concert is this coming Sunday, July 18th, and it's the Charlie Zan and Tad Marks group. They sing folk songs, and that is sponsored by Parker McKay. And to thank you, Mr. Gillespie. So those are two of the things coming up. The senior citizens have a meeting on July the 22nd at the Street Building. And also coming up is a new event. It's the Senior Citizens Vintage Dance and Ice Cream Social. So if you're 55 and above, you can attend. It's at 6:30 p.m. on August the 13th. You need to sign up by July 30th, and there's more information on the website, or you can call Donna Casey at the Township, extension 121, for more information. I hope everybody attends. The Senior Citizens Prom that they had 2 years ago was a very successful event. So this will have a band. The fellows from the Bilko Band will be there playing live dance music, and the Lollipops ice cream will be served. So we're looking forward to that. And that's all that I have for the evening. So we have some bills to pay.
We do.
Do I have a motion in a second? And I'm going to kill her.
I make a motion that we pay our bills.
Thank you.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mr. Klaus? Mayor Gilmore?
Yes. Okay, there is no executive session tonight, so I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mr. Klaus? Mayor Gilmore?
Yes. Okay. We're adjourned.
So let it
Thank
be.
you.
Thank you, everyone.
Oh, thank you.
I have dibs on Jerry's.
We'll stick one in the freezer for you, Jerry.
I'm just helping here. Paula passed
You
it
go
on here.
ahead, go serve.
Hey, you get first. You would cut the